And we are live. I'm going to be going over the Ryan Borgwardt story. I feel like for the people that live reasonably close to Wisconsin, you know everything about it. But there's some of us that don't know a lot, and even going over some of the newest news today, I learned something different. So I thought we could go over it. Hopefully, if you have heard of this story, that you don't know too much, but it's going to be a lot of reading. There's a lot of police reports to go over, and they do a great job of detailing everything. So if you haven't heard of Ryan, he is a Wisconsin dad, married to Emily. They have 3 children, and ages have not been given out, but we do know that they're all younger than 18. From the pictures I saw, I would speculate maybe 10, 12, and 16, something like that. There is one older one, but they're all still little considering. Well, he definitely made headlines when he went missing. He went fishing on a very specific lake that he had been to before, and he ended up not showing up and not returning home, which obviously caused the wife concern because he was going on a canoe, and so, that could be a little bit dangerous, maybe tipping over. So it called in and that he was missing. The police went to look for him, sorry. Hi, Patty Cat. They went to look. They found the canoe tipped over. The toolbox and fishing supply were all in the water. They either were floating or they sunk, but all in a very relative area that looks like for kayaks that it would be a little bit windy and could easily tip over. So there's the basic of what happened, but now I'm going to go through and read you what the police went through. And it's a lot, so just bear with me. So they ended up going and having divers. There were robots. There was, I think they did an above ground aerial view looking for Ryan to find his body. Evidently, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody had died on that lake. And so they already had plans that were set to implement if something like that happened again. And they did. Nothing, though. Not a trace of his body anywhere. And I guess they've been able to recover everything before. So if someone died, they were able to recover the body. But this time, nothing. And it started to really make the police put up their antennas and this is a little abnormal, what's going on. And so even so, the family then started their grieving period thinking that he died and time was going by. The police soon would discover that he had been talking to a girl. I believe she was from, and I'm totally not going to pronounce this right, Uzbekistan. I think that's how you say it. So he was talking with her and made plans to go be with her. And not that it said that in what the police had found, but there was enough information and things he was doing leading up to this day, such as he updated his life insurance policy, he opened new bank accounts, moved money around a little oddly or differently. And we would then find out later he even had more than one passport. I mean, he did everything. It was just on lockdown and clearly a thought through process. So they didn't say anything to the family just yet because, they're grieving. And if they were wrong about their hunch, they didn't need to upset them as well. So here we go. We are going to get into it. And the new thing that I learned has a video. It's a short video, but it's definitely worth watching. So we will be switching over to that in just a second. So the police gets that information off what they could, probably home electronics, things like that. And they start to reach out to other countries' police forces. They reached out to Canada. They ended up finding out that he went through Canada. So things were like, oh yeah, he's here. We have him on surveillance. He takes a plane over to Europe, and then that's the last that our police could trace, that he was over there somewhere. But when they started uncovering that the girl he spoke to was Russian, they started piecing more and more together. And they were making public calls then at that point, saying, if you know of or have seen this man, or even if it's Ryan watching, we want to hear from you. We want to know if you're okay. Your kids deserve to know. And wife, of course, but they were playing the kids card a lot. Your kids deserve to know if their dad is dead or alive. And they let them know that, yeah, your kids have been suffering thinking you died. You know, don't hold out. Don't just keep hiding. Let us know. So that cues into this video. Mind you, this whole process took probably almost a month of them thinking he died, the police slowly putting things together, and then making this online statement to try to somehow reach him. All right, so somehow try to reach him. Indeed, they did. And I'm going to play it right now because it is crazy. 1 second, moving this over. Okay, here we go.
Good evening, it's Ryan Borgwardt. Today, today is November 11th. It's approximately 10 a.m. by you guys. I'm in my apartment. Safe, secure, no problem. This works.
So there he is in a different country in what he said is his apartment, and the police putting this online made him feel like he needed to reach out. Maybe if he would let them know that he is still alive and well, maybe that would be the end of it. No. The police then was trying to scramble as to what in the world could they charge him with that even would make it be that he had to be shipped or had to be flown back or something, extradited back to the U.S. But they were struggling, and even the sheriff said that in one of his press interviews, that there's not really a lot that he did that's illegal. So the charge that they ended up putting on him was obstruction, because he wasted police time, money, and taxpayer money, therefore. So they ended up charging him with that, but it wasn't enough to have him brought back home. And sounds like they kept playing the dad card. Think about what your kids went through. Think about this. They want to know you're okay. They want to see you. And he ended up coming back home on his own free will and turned himself into the police station. No cop had him and brought him in, nothing like that. He did it all on his own, which I think is a good thing. That's how that should have been done. Not a good thing that you would let your 3 children and your wife think that you're dead, and then to find out that you're alive, but they don't get to spend their life with you. Their family is just completely torn apart now, and now they all probably have to be sitting back and thinking, all right, he didn't want to be a part of our future, so what do we do with him now? Do you try to heal any of those relationships? The kid's so young that maybe they could somehow work past it at some point. I don't know. I guess to each their own, but that would be extremely hard. They're all old enough to understand what happened. So I'm going to quickly go over some of the police's notes, and like I said, it's a lot of reading. I'll try to summarize some of these things, though. Okay. Yeah, so forensic analysis, his laptop. They were able to get one of his laptops. They saw that he had communication with that female. He did the life insurance, transferring funds to a foreign bank, an airline gift card. They got to ask him, why did he try to purchase additional life insurance? He said that he didn't want to die. Sorry. For his family, he thought that they would need more. So that was like him being a hero moment, but not really. They asked, why is it that the morning of that, when he was going fishing, why did he stop and try to buy a life jacket? Because I guess they ended up finding that on a surveillance camera. And he said, well, there was already one, but that was the one that had to stay with the canoe or kayak. And the second one, he wanted just to make sure that he wouldn't die in the lake for real. So as we have said, he then went through Canada and flew out there. When he got to Europe, the female he had been talking to came to him, and they spent a few days at the hotel that was near this airport. Let's see other good notes that they have. So one of the questions that keep getting asked or brought up is that, has his wife, Emily, have they spoken? What's been said? The officer has said that they have been able to be in touch, and that's it. We don't know if they have, if they haven't. We don't know about the kids. So we also know, based on the police's entire step-by-step instruction of what happened, at some point, his money was running out. And I think this part's interesting because he left money for his family. He made sure his family would get money if thinking that he died. But it doesn't sound like he had enough money to actually live off of that for a period of time. Like, I think he was thinking he would go to work right away. I don't know if that's something him and this female talked about, and that's how he would start supporting himself. But when he came back to the U.S., they asked if he wanted attorney appointed to him or if he would have his own lawyer. And he said that he only has $20 to his name, so they needed to appoint one to him, which is just crazy. He is out on bond for $500, and his charge is only a misdemeanor. So that means he's out. I am not really sure who he is staying with, but I do have an educated guess because when this hearing happened, his parents were the only ones that came to it. The wife and the kids did not and would not. We now know from that hearing, though, that just happened, that he was given the documents that Emily is filing for divorce, which, yes, good for you. Run away from this individual. Horrible. She is seeking sole custody of the kids, which, yeah, that's what you got to do. He was willing to walk away from 4 of you people, and, like, it's just, he's literally treating a stranger, a female stranger, better than what he treated his family. Just being like, oh, nope, we're good. You guys go do your own life. So yeah, with that, staying with his parents, getting the divorce, the issues that are now being brought up, and I think this is crazy. You'll have to let me know if you agree or disagree to this. Like, Court TV and other stations have talked about that they think he's going to fight for some custody of the kids. I don't see how that's possible. That's my thought. No, why would he do that? He wanted to walk away from that life all together. Why would he come back now just to try to have some custody? And if I was a judge in this matter, I wouldn't want him to have the kids either. I mean, I feel like that's really reckless, not safe for the kids emotionally, but also I think that they just need to stick with their mom, who has now been through this heartache with them. I can only imagine the conversations that they must have, and it's just unbelievable. That is something that the sheriff did address, not in detail, but he did say that Emily has been extremely strong for the kids through this whole thing. So good for her. I hope she's able to keep going. I really hope in some sort of way that she can, I don't know if it would just be getting money from him or something, but I feel like something more should be done when it comes to him owing her. Like, not just child support. How about a lot more? You did emotional damage on everybody. I don't see how, they're all going to have to go to therapy. I mean, this is huge. So that's my guess. What we do now know is that he will probably be back in court in January because, as we know, the courts are going to be getting shut down for a little bit because holidays and the New Year's. So we will have to keep watching that. I have been trying to look for Emily on social media. Not that I want to put all of her stuff out on the internet, but I am curious to know how she's doing, what the plans are through this holiday, and knowing that he is near them currently. Are they going to try to get together and talk it out? So many questions. So we will have to keep paying attention to this. I think if it keeps going at the rate it is with this much publicity, that Emily at some point will have to say something. So we'll keep an eye out. It's a little bit of a short one today, but I hope you liked it. We will be back on tomorrow. And if you missed my live yesterday, next week we are going to be diving back into Anna Nicole Smith's trial, which looked a little crazy. I don't remember it very well because I was a bit younger, but everybody called it a circus. They were calling the judges names. It looks interesting to watch now that we've seen so many of these trials and different people. I think it'll be a good one. So we'll do that, and then we're also doing an every single day episode of Disney lawsuits. So we'll probably do that starting Sunday through Saturday, but some of them are very entertaining. So even so they're going to be a little bit shorter of a video, you should enjoy it as much as I currently do. So, all right.